Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. In today's breakdown video, we're doing another 16 gauge. It is my favorite gauge, but this is Winchester Super X 16 gauge 12 pellet #1 buck. Now these are from the 80s or 90s, I believe. I'm sure someone out there knows, and if you do, let me know. But you can see the clearance stamp right there, sticker $275. I believe these came from Kmart that was here local in town. It closed down in 2019, but actually I think the last Kmart just closed down a few days ago, which is sad to hear. Anyway, the boxes on these old Winchester shells are quite plain, but I kind of like them just for nostalgia's sake. This is the stuff I seen on shelves growing up whenever I was a kid, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I would see stuff like this on store shelves, pawn shops, things like that. And it slowly started disappearing and replaced with the modern stuff. I believe for a while we had a black box out, and then it went to silver and red, and now it's silver, white, and red. And I don't know, every so often they change their box design, but this one is just mostly white. I keep mispronouncing words, white, with a orange and red banner on it and the Winchester logo. Other than having the specs on it, there's really not too much else to talk about. The stock keeping unit on these was X16B5. This is again 12 pellets, #3 buck, or #1 buck. Why did I say 3? In a 2 3/4 inch shell. The other side of the box is what I actually paid for these, $7.99, from the gun shop across the street from my house. I will try to show you the roof of it, zoom in. That green roof you see center screen with the white gutter, that is the gun shop. It's about, I don't know, 250, maybe 300 yards from my house. It's not very far away at all. But the back of it shows the stuff about these shells. Plastic granules protect buckshot against distortion. Basically, that's buffer. It keeps the buckshot from smashing so bad, deforming whenever you fire these. Cup wad forms sealed gas chamber, preventing gas leakage. That would mean this has a fiber wad in the shape of a bowl that goes over the powder. That is the gas seal. A clean, modern progressive burning powder. Super strong, smooth loading, non-scuff plastic shell with integral base wad. These are the AA compression form style shells. Compression form shells. They're one-piece tapered hull. Special wads absorb shock. These have fiber wads. Non-corrosive all-weather primer gives fast, dependable ignition. Well, I can't really tell you nothing about that, but here's what the hull looks like, or the shell. Once again, this is a compression formed tapered hull, much like a Winchester AA, the original style, not the AAHS or Remington Premier STS Nitro 27. Yep, this is a one-piece tapered hull. These have an 8mm brass head on them, not steel. This is legit brass. The primer itself is brass with a copper washed steel battery cup, primer cup, whatever you want to call it. The head stamp says Winchester 16 gauge Western. And these are sealed with Winchester, or I guess Western actually invented it, kinda I guess. The heat sealed crimp. They melt the center of it to keep it sealed, no moisture can get in that, which is a good thing. But also, if you want to reload these hulls, it makes it a bit of a challenge. You kind of have to put a overshot card underneath the crimp. But other than that, this says Winchester Super X 1B. That means 1 buck. 2 3/4 inch, 70mm. Anything else? Nope. That's it. So these compression formed hulls are the absolute best for reloading. They go a very, very long time. The problem is they are very, very hard to come by these days. Excuse me. Anyway, without further ado, let's open this up and see what's in it. Well, it just started raining. Luckily, I have a giant umbrella right over top my head so I can continue filming. Oh yeah, today's snooze and drink combo, by the way, is Eton White Portion and Monster Zero Sugar Original. Okay, anyway, the total payload on this, including buffer, is 0.99 of an ounce. So it's not quite 1 ounce. Now, 12 pellets of number 1 buck, if it's 30 cal, true number 1 buck, is right at 1 1/8 ounces. Well, this is under 1 ounce barely, including the buffer. You know what that means? They, Winchester, were using 28 cal just like Federal and Remington do today. I wonder if factory 16 gauge number 1 buck has ever been 30 cal, because even back then it wasn't, and today it's not. It's 28 caliber. And the weight of those 12 pellets without the buffer is 0.94 of an ounce, which is close to 26 grams or 15/16 of 1 ounce. And well, the pellets themselves, they look pretty good. They look like they may have just been put together yesterday. They're not oxidized, they're not, ugly, tarnished. No, those are still relatively shiny and they're decently round, but I think they're pure lead. They don't feel or look like high antimony lead or hard cast lead. Here's a better view of them. Interestingly enough, the 2 center screen above the bottom 2 are shinier than the rest. Weird. That one that's center screen now in particular is really shiny. Emergency weather broadcast? Is that what that was? Who knows? Who cares? Anyway, the pellets look pretty good. For a charge, this one has 22 even of a black ball powder, and this looks like an old discontinued powder called HS7, which was originally Winchester 572. I think I said 572 there. I meant 571, but 571 became HS7, and it's discontinued now. Anyway, this looks like Long Shot, but is much, much darker. Now, as for the hull, once again, it is just a one-piece compression-formed hull, just like a original Winchester AA, or Remington STS, Nitro 27, things like that. And if we look down inside here, you'll see no separate base wad. The dark ring is just the brass, but it is a one-piece hull, and you can see the primer in there, and a few flakes of powder. And this is, once again, a tapered hull. And this being an older shell, of course, it doesn't have any sort of plastic wadding in it, not even a plastic wrap. This is the, what they call it, bowl-shaped or U-shaped? Let's see here. A cup wad. Yeah, they call it a cup shape. You can see that right here. It is cup-shaped. That is the over-powder card. That is the gas seal. And some flakes are still stuck to it as well. No, that little hole in the middle does not hurt anything. If these ever were shot, you would never know that was there. In fact, Ballistic Products now has a new gas seal out called the XF12 that also has a hole in the middle. Anyway, above that is a 1/8 inch I was going to say waxed hard card. It's not a waxed hard card, a fiber wad. Once again, a hole because I pulled it out with a screw, but nothing special here, just a 1/8 inch, or sorry, 1/4 inch. I'm all over the place today. Fiber wad. And this here is also a 1/4 inch fiber wad. I have no idea what those colored specs are. I saw that whenever I dumped the pellets and buffer out. Something at the factory, no idea. It's on the bottom too, though. I think it's just paint chips, to be honest. But that's all this shell is, guys. It's pretty simple. Just a hull, powder, fiber wads, buckshot, buffer, crimp. Very simple, old school style shell here. Modern shells are not done like this. We now have plastic gas seals or a brush wad, which is a wad with no pedals, or even sometimes a legit wad. We don't really see stuff done this way anymore, besides I can think of one, S&B, Cellier and Belleau, I believe it's pronounced. They still do it like this, and they don't do it right either. Actually, speaking of the S&B, those clear holes right there are the S&B buckshot I'm talking about. And they have the, what is it? A Maxi Nitro card over top the powder, and then just a waxed hard card, and it forms a very, very poor gas seal, and the buckshot can leave the muzzle anywhere between 700 FPS and 1100 from what we've seen. Anyway, let's slap this back together and see if I can make it look presentable. I will have to add a thin overshot card underneath the crimp now because the sealed crimp has been broken. Oh well. Alrighty, here it is put back together, and it went back together just fine. We have a very deep set, perfectly uniform crimp on there, a beautiful taper thanks to the BN2, although the center of the crimp is now mangled and ugly, but that's what you get with heat-sealed crimp shells. No way around that, it is what it is. But this one will go back in the box to live the rest of its life until it eventually gets shot, which I'm sure it will. Not by me, but maybe by whoever owns these after I do, which hopefully isn't for a very, very long time yet to come. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I love opening up these old vintage shells. Whatever gauge and whatever kind of shot it may be, even slugs, they're just cool to have a look at. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.